have with us a great partner at Michelle Cordano. Michelle currently serves as the Talent Development Liaison for Prosperity Regions 5 and 6 with an industry focus on information technology statewide for the Industry Engagement Division within the Michigan Department of Labor and Economic Opportunity Workforce Development at the state. So Michelle's team is extremely busy right now, as you can imagine from the impacts of COVID. And we really appreciate Michelle being here today to present and kick off this session. I'll let you take it away, Michelle, whenever you're ready.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm happy to be here, happy to have such a wonderful panel of speakers today with me to talk about the workforce resources that are available and initiatives and projects that we're doing both statewide and locally in Michigan. And you can go to the next slide. I am within the Sector Strategies Division of LEOWD, which is the Michigan Department of Labor and Economic Opportunity for Workforce Development. Our team is really charged to bring all key stakeholders to the table, employers, educators, workforce development professionals, also employer-led collaboratives around the state, really to create a collective voice and a collective direction to ensure that we have a robust talent pipeline for Michigan. You can go to the next slide. I just thought I'd show you a picture of our team real quick. Deb Leisinga is our manager. I'm the next one next to Deb on the top. As you can see, each of us focuses on a specific region within Michigan, and we also all have a specific industry that we cover, and mine is information technology. Go to the next slide. And what we really do within those regions that we work throughout Michigan is we really try to bring together all the partners that are working on workforce development and, just executing programs and initiatives that bring all of these entities together to ensure that we have the workforce that is needed. Certainly there are quite a few cybersecurity needs emerging and growing, which you'll learn about a little more later from another one of the speakers coming up. Next slide, please. So why are we doing the work that we're doing at the workforce development here at the state of Michigan? It's because there's a gap, and you've probably heard this before, but as of this year, 70% of all jobs require some sort of post-secondary education. But we are still falling short. And the latest figures show that only about 45% of Michigan workers actually have a certificate or degree beyond high school. And the demand is there, and projected job openings continue to be strong in the skilled trades through 2026. Next slide, please. Another, I think, important piece of information about our job market is how it's changing due to technology. There's this wonderful report called the Alice Report that is full of great information about the types of jobs that are coming in the next 20 to 30 years that are unrecognizable because of the influence of information technology in our society. They also go on to note that 50% of all subject knowledge in the first year of a four-year technical degree in the US will be outdated by the time the students graduate. So it's also just, it really reiterates again our skills gap, our equity gap, the financial hardships that our state is currently experiencing. And I would suggest that you look into this report, and I'm sure you will have several takeaways. And the next slide, please. Ultimately, the Governor Gretchen Whitmer has set a goal for the state of Michigan, and that is that 60% of Michiganders achieve some sort of post-secondary credential by 2030. So we call that the 60 by 30. So all of our initiatives are working towards helping the governor and helping Michigan to achieve this goal by 2030. Go to the next slide, please. One of these initiatives that we have right now is called the Michigan Industry Cluster Approach 2.0. We also call it MICA 2.0. These are 16 different grants that are spread out across 10 of Michigan's prosperity regions. We have over 200 unique employers that are participating, 1,476 participants, nearly 1,000 credentials or certificates, and it wouldn't surprise me if we surpass that goal. And these, all of these grants are really putting the employers at the center, and we really focus on that in our sector strategies. We want to know what employers need, what are the skills and competencies that are needed. This focus group that Stephanie and Ashley are putting together at U of M is so important, because we need to know specifically from our employers what the needs are, and then help to articulate that to our schools, whether they be K through 12 or post-secondary and other training providers, and work with all partners to make sure that we're training the workforce that is needed. You can go to the next slide. These are some specific information technology projects that I'm working on for the state. We did just release an IT cluster report, and this just really details, you know, employment and wage data, key occupations, different career pathways, and also that real-time IT demand and employment projections. I can share that link with you after the meeting, so you can look at that report. I also serve as a member of the Computer Science Standards Leadership Team. This is for our K through 12 schools, and we do have standards that have been approved, and now it's just a matter of implementing these standards statewide, so that all of our students have basic knowledge of computer science all the way from K through 12th grade. Also, we're doing some IT asset mapping around the state, employers, educators, training providers, employer-led collaboratives, local groups, et cetera, just to kind of get a pulse on where we are as a state when we're looking at building out a strong talent pipeline. And the last one is a statewide employer-led collaborative. You can go to the next slide. This collaborative is something that's new. We haven't yet launched it, but we're getting close. We have 3 outcomes that we're looking for. Education, again, we're talking about those computer science standards in our K through 12. Increasing awareness between our post-secondary schools with IT programs and employers in their region. IT workforce and training, that would be other training that is available throughout the state of Michigan outside of the traditional secondary or post-secondary education. Also looking to identify and increase our remote tech talent in Michigan, attracting IT professionals to Michigan. So those are some of the outcomes. And the third one is those IT entrepreneurs and emerging technologies, really trying to keep informed of what those emerging technologies are, providing thought leaderships to our local groups and our statewide groups. And also possibly serving as kind of a collective voice from employers of what the IT needs are to the state of Michigan legislative body. So those are some of the things we're working on at the state level. I am going to turn it over. You can go to the next slide. I'm going to turn it over to one of our partners, Tom Robinson. He serves as the business Manager for Michigan Works Southeast, covering Washtenaw, Livingston, Jackson, Lenawee, and Hillsdale County. He has 25 years plus experience in a call center sector, managing and directing a large staff of over 600 people, managing programs in the finance, healthcare, and utility industry. In addition, Tom owns and operates 2 small businesses in the greater Jackson area and has 10 years of government service in the city of Livonia, including 8 years as an elected city councilman. So I am pleased to turn this over to Tom now. And again, thank you for letting us be part of this seminar today.
Great, thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, Michelle, for that introduction. Next slide, please. So a little bit about Michigan Works Southeast in our region. Our population in the region is 865,000. Our labor force is 445,921. Our unemployment rate was 2.6%. That's obviously prior to COVID, and we all hope to return to that soon. But prior to COVID, it was 2.6%. The number of unemployed was 11,459. Our poverty rate was 12%, or 103,000, and our ALS population is 39%. Next slide, please. Some of our highlights in 2019, we had 4,900 jobs filled, 1,900 businesses served, 68,000 visits to our service centers, and 20,700 customers served. And you can see on the state map there, the region that we are operating in. And the 68,000 visits to our service centers were 5 different service centers in the 5 different counties. Next slide, please. So things we're doing to fill jobs today. So we provide recruitment assistance, weekly job and talent email blast, job and wage analysis, training funds, grants, hiring events, employer of the day and job fairs, Pure Michigan Talent Connect, and job postings and job searches. Next slide, please. So what we're doing to prepare tomorrow's cyber workforce. So we offer or support on-the-job training, or OJT grants, and those are used to expand and train new staff, so on-the-job training. We do incumbent worker training, or IWT grants, and those are used to upgrade the skills of existing eligible employees. And then we also have the Going Pro Talent Fund, the GPTF grants, and those are competitive grants to train, develop, and retain current employees and new workers to be hired. Next slide, please. So another important tool that we have is the registered apprenticeships, and some components of a registered apprenticeship include the business involvement, structured on-the-job training, related classroom instruction, rewards for skill gains, a nationally recognized occupational credential, and we at Michigan Works Southeast will act as a liaison between employers and the USDOL, making program development and administration seamless. Next slide, please. So registered apprenticeship, some of the benefits to the employer include a highly skilled employees, reduced turnover cost, increased retention rates, higher productivity, and a more diverse workforce. And the benefits to the workers include increased skills, higher wages, national credentials, industry recognized skills, and career advancement. And if you're interested in talking to us about an apprenticeship in your organization, please reach out to myself or contact Steve Billington at sbillington@michiganworkssoutheast.org. For more information, we would certainly love to hear from you and partner with you on your next apprenticeship. Next slide, please. In here we have a list of just some of the area education and initiative partners that we have. And there's a greater list available. If you are wanting our entire list, please send me a message in chat here or reach out to the conference organizer and we will get that out to you. Next slide, please. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Tom. That was very helpful. Michigan Works across the state have been a very valuable partner to DCAP and the companies that we work with. So we appreciate Tom giving us the update here today about what's going on in your particular region and where most of the companies listening in today are based. Next up, we have Cheryl Tarrant. Cheryl is the Director of Business Services and Community Relations at Great Lakes Bay Michigan Works. So because we've combined seminars today, we have two Michigan Works regionally to give us an update as to what is going on there locally. So Cheryl, I'm going to turn it over to you here and you can take it away whenever you are ready.
Thank you, and thank you for having us. Great Lakes, you can go to the next slide. Great Lakes Bay Michigan Works offers a variety of services designed to support employer recruitment and needs. As you can see on the slide, we represent Bay, Midland, Saginaw, Gratiot, and Isabella counties. We served, nearly 2,000 unique employers in the year of 2019. We filled almost 6,000 jobs. We've posted a little less than 7,500 jobs, and we've served over 20,000 individuals. And we call that unduplicated because sometimes we serve individuals multiple times as they're working with career managers to gain their certifications, to gain their employment. So, and throughout our 5 counties, we've had just over 80,000 visits to our center. Slide. Great Lakes Bay Michigan Works offers a variety of services to meet our employer needs. And what we really like to emphasize is that all the services we provide are at no cost to the employer. We provide assistance with internet job postings through Pure Michigan Talent Connect. This includes job postings, job descriptions, resume searches. Additionally, we post positions on our social media network, which has over 85,000 followers. We also work with our local universities and colleges and post on their job boards in an effort to gain more talent in our region and to retain the young talent that is graduating or near graduation. We also provide recruitment services. We either recruit or assist in the recruiting, whatever the company's needs are. We provide screenings, interview facilities. We assist in the application process. We can assist with orientation and onboarding space. Often employers will use our service centers to provide all of their orientation. That way that they don't have large groups of people coming in for orientation inside their own facilities. We do host single or multi-company job fairs. We arrange it, we advertise it, we manage the entire production during the day, and we conduct the job fairs customized to meet whatever the company's needs are. In 2019, we hosted at our service centers almost 200 single company job fairs. We can also provide assistance with like work keys assessments. All of it is customized to meet the company's needs. Slide. Great Lakes Bay Michigan Works also has what we call Fast Start Training. Fast Start Training is a system that is an accelerated pre-hire training customized model. We provide, it's created to provide skills to meet all of the needs for skills required for large demand hiring needs. We can scale it to meet the employer's requirements, so it can be a large training, it can be small. the accelerated training itself is a condensed training designed to deliver just-in-time trainings to meet whatever the company's hiring schedule is. It's a customized recruitment, assessment, counseling, and orientation that we do to ensure that only high-quality job candidates are brought into the training program. We have trained almost 1,000 people so far, and we've satisfied 100% of the hiring needs that have come to us. We do this in collaboration with our partner over at Delta College. Slide. Great Lakes Bay, Michigan Works can provide ongoing services to a company after the hiring decisions have occurred. Training services after hire could include, depending on what our funding is, on-the-job training for individuals who require additional training post-hire for a defined period of time. We too assist with apprenticeships. We help employers create USDOL registered apprenticeships that lead to nationally recognized credentials or certifications. We can also do customized training based on the company needs, also leading to a recognized credential. Great Lakes Bay, Michigan Works is a willing partner in our region, and we have a history of supporting hiring demands in our area. We assisted a large auto supplier in screening over 1,200 candidates, scheduling and provided interview space for over 500 one-on-one interviews in a 4-month period of time. So we do what we can to meet whatever the need is brought to us by our employers. The only program that we have that does have a cost to it is our Business Resource Network. And that really is created to provide a hands-on business solutions approach to lower employee turnover and increase attendance, engagement and productivity out of the employees. We kind of phrased it as it meets the human side of the workforce, addressing needs such as utility assistance or childcare assistance or car repairs. It's those little things that come up that can hinder attendance and create high turnover. So we actually have someone who is on site working with the employees. Again, that is the only service we provide that does have a cost, but if you factor in how much it costs to retrain and to go through the hiring process, you really would come out ahead. So next slide. In our region, we are incredibly lucky to have so many highly rated educational partners. Davenport, SVSU, Northwood, CMU are those major universities. We also have Mid-Michigan Community College as well as Delta College. And all of these provide IT education. We use them quite a bit when we do a lot of our trainings for people who are looking to go into IT and wanting to upscale their education or their skill set. We also have the Great Lakes Bay IT Work Group, and that was created to gain a better understanding of IT talent needs in our region. Member companies are not exclusively IT because we understand that every business has a need for IT talent. We work in collaboration with the Great Lakes Bay Regional Alliance, who has the Great Lakes Bay STEM program. That was created to support K through 12 and higher education in the area of IT. What we do is we have employers who communicate their needs to the regional education partners, and this helps our local education system provide curriculum that aligns with each employer. So it's a great collaboration that we have, and if you'd like more information on joining the Great Lakes Bay IT Work Group, please contact me. Or if you have any other questions about services Great Lakes Bay Michigan Works can provide to you, please reach out to me at any time. Slide.
Great, thank you, Cheryl. That was extremely valuable to hear what's happening a little further north than we are. So again, reach out to Cheryl and her team if you have any needs related to workforce talent and retention. So next, in our workforce panel, we're going to take a little bit of a different shift. So in order to have a workforce, we have to start with education, right? And Amanda Stoll is here. She is the department specialist at the Michigan Department of Education. She works with educational leaders across the state to explore the effective use of technology to support learning and learners. And we're going to have Amanda present some information about what is going on in the education sector, preparing your workforce.
Great, thank you. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Oh, okay. So, morning, yes, I'm honored to be part of today's panel and share with you what efforts are underway at the Department of Education in the education field that's supporting the cybersecurity pipeline. I want to share with everyone that I am by no means a cybersecurity expert, but had the amazing opportunity in 2017 to administer the 99K Cybersecurity Grant Program. During that time, I learned a ton about cybersecurity, but most importantly, I learned that there's a great need to build, enhance, and bring awareness to the cybersecurity pipeline. And I'm happy to share with you today just how the Department of Education is committing to continuing our support of different cybersecurity initiatives across the state. The 99K Cybersecurity Grant was put into place in order to increase the number of students demonstrating proficiency in science and mathematics on our state assessments, as well as to increase the number of students who are college and career ready upon high school graduation. This is standard language for grants, but what it really means in practical application is that our students are our future, and we need to ensure that we, the adults, are providing and supporting students with that strong, robust cybersecurity career pipeline. This also meant, in order to achieve that we needed a holistic and collaborative approach. The next few slides will provide some details on just how MDE and our collaborative partners are working to build and strengthen that pipeline, ensuring that Michigan will have the workforce ready and able to secure our digital environment. As you can see from this slide, the Michigan Department launched the Michigan Integrated Technology Competencies for Students at about the same time we were administering the 99K grant around cybersecurity. The MICA have 7 competencies, knowledge, skills, and abilities that we would like students to have. Those competencies range from computational thinker, digital citizenship, global collaborator, and creative communicator. These are some really great skills for the situation we have at hand, as our students and educators are spending a lot more time in the virtual learning environment with distance learning due to COVID-19. We wanted to ensure that all of our students are able to master these competencies in age-appropriate ways, which are scaffolded through students' learning experiences like those provided by the Cyber Patriot, Cyber Range, and Cyber Auto programs and competitions. Then, to build on MICA, the Michigan K-12 computer science standards were developed by a statewide strategic partner, including K-12 cybersecurity experts. The standards were adopted in May of last year. They have a vision. The vision for the K-12 Computer Science Standards Initiative is that all learners will develop foundational computer science skills to solve problems and be constructive citizens. Our students will learn new approaches to problem solving, harness the power of computational thinking, and use computer science tools to create technology. It's very important to point out that cybersecurity is a key subcomponent within the Michigan Computer Science Standards. It highlights both what students can do and should know. Our cybersecurity practices can be found throughout the standards document. So both the MITEX and computer science initiatives were being implemented in parallel to the administration of the cybersecurity grant. As the individual, myself as the individual bridging these initiatives, it was my goal to ensure that the grant program increased access to cybersecurity learning for students, and second, build a comprehensive, sustainable system for cybersecurity education. To address these goals, I brought together a group of cybersecurity stakeholders. The collaborative efforts between the Department of Education, the Department of Technology Management and Budget, the Governor's Office, the Midwest Colloquium for Information Systems Security Education, the Air Force Association Cyber Patriot, and Merit Cyber Range representatives designed the grant program that laid the groundwork for this pipeline. The pipeline was created by coordinating existing cybersecurity programs, like I just mentioned, Cyber Patriot and Cyber Range, included the Department of Education school district structures, ensured there was professional learning for educators, and offered authentic worksite readiness for our students. The grant created opportunities for students and educators to engage more fully to develop those cybersecurity skills, and the coordinated programs aligned to MICA and computer science standards. We called this our perfect storm. Cyber Patriot then built out digital badges for students so that our students could show the mastery of the competencies and standards to their prospective colleges, universities, and employers. So during the grant program and beyond, both Cyber Patriot and Cyber Range programs saw growth in the number of teams and students participating. This was the bigger picture for our students. Next slide, please. As I mentioned, we also knew that we needed support for our educators so that they felt comfortable with cybersecurity. So we couldn't get these programs to students if those educators didn't feel comfortable with the content. Therefore, we again worked with some collaborative partners across the state. We also partnered with our cybersecurity subject matter experts to create several courses that provided online access for educators to access anytime and anywhere. We utilized a system tool that we had already created called EduPath, which uses a secure online learning management system, Canvas. You can see here from the chart that there was growth in the courses taken by educators over a period of 6 months. We've also provided different podcasts and events around the state, including several sessions at the first ever Michigan Computer Science Standards Summit. Next slide, please. So also, the Michigan, the MySTEM network is a partner in all of this work. Their goal is to bridge the education field and the business field. There are 16 network directors, regional directors across the state, as well as a state level team. Megan Schraben is the executive director, and she's housed at Labor Economic Opportunity. Then myself at the Department of Education, as well as our connected partners like Michelle, who you heard from earlier. We're all acting as coalition builders. We are able to provide information to schools regarding all of these student programs, information to educators around the professional development, and we are able to connect the educators to program providers. We're able to bridge that business industry need to the educational outcomes for our students, all by encouraging project-based, place-based, and problem-based learning experiences that are offered in those competition programs like Cyber Patriot and Cyber Range. Next slide. So as I shared, MDE is committed to a holistic, collaborative approach to ensuring cybersecurity career pipelines. Therefore, we're also working with ISDs and school district technology leaders to ensure that the infrastructure built to service school districts is also secure. The Michigan Education Technology Leaders, or as we like to call them, MEDL, have created a document titled Essential Cybersecurity Practices for K-12, which can be found on their website at www.gomesa.org. Under the organization tab, click MEDL. MEDL has formed a task force that is continuing to investigate innovative strategies and create more resources to support districts in ensuring secure cyber environments for students and educators to work and learn online. We are currently working with the Secure Michigan Initiative and bringing the MEDL team to the table and looking at ways that the MEDL Cybersecurity Task Force in all of their efforts can also support CTE programs by offering apprenticeships or internships to our CTE students in this space. All of this work is connecting, and it's really exciting. So the Michigan Department of Education is committed to continuing our collaborative support for all cybersecurity initiatives across the state to keep all Michigan citizens safe. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Amanda. We appreciate your time today. I know the Department of Education is also a very busy sector nowadays, and so thank you for your time. I don't have any specific questions that have came in for the workforce panelists yet, but again, if you have any questions, please type them in the Q&A function on your screen, and I will get them to the panelists. So next up, we have Sarah Tennant. Sarah Tennant is the Sector Development Director in Cyber Initiatives at the Michigan Economic Development Corporation. So we would not be here presenting this content today if it were not for the MEDC. In addition to Department of Defense Office of Economic Adjustment, who funds the DCAP grant, MEDC provides the cost share that we needed in order to receive that great grant here at the University of Michigan. So we are very thankful to have Sarah here today to present about what is going on at the state level related to economic development in cyber talent.
Thanks, Ashley. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, thank you,
Okay,
Sarah.
perfect. The Michigan Economic Development Corporation, in collaboration with more than 100 economic development partners, markets Michigan as the place to do business. It assists businesses in their growth strategy and fosters the growth of vibrant communities across the state. You can go to the next slide, Ashley. As a state development director with a focus on cyber initiatives on the market development team at the MEDC, I'm looking at the cyber ecosystem from an economic development perspective. The role of our team is to create and enhance long-term successful economic development collaborations that grow jobs and investments across the state. A big part of that successful collaboration requires good communication between workforce and economic development. We really can't be successful in our economic development approach if we don't have a workforce to back it. Michigan has been very proactive in its approach to cybersecurity and developed a holistic view of this issue, including creating a collaborative environment and partnerships within the state. The plan requires multiple government agencies, academia, and industry to collaborate. Amanda talked about collaboration as well. It's not easy, but it is an essential piece of any good working cybersecurity plan. I am also fortunate to work with our MOU partners in countries like Israel, Netherlands, UK, and the province of Ontario. This has led to creating working groups and shared programming around the cybersecurity solutions, creating a knowledge share. In 2015, the Michigan Cyber Disruption Plan was created to protect the health, safety, and economic interests of Michigan's residents and businesses by reducing the impacts of disruptive cyber-related events through response and mitigation planning, awareness, and implementation. As technology continues advancing at a rapid pace, cybersecurity becomes an increasingly critical industry. Cybersecurity really is an industry that intersects all industries, and we're working diligently in Michigan to create a pipeline of cyber warriors that will help to protect not only our emerging industries like mobility, but the challenging landscape of our existing industries like defense. Industries that become increasingly connected, which makes them even more vulnerable to bad actors that are looking to take advantage of that interconnectivity. Our large footprint in high-tech automotive, manufacturing, and defense industries provide a deep pool of engineering and information technology talent that is ready to develop into the next generation of cybersecurity specialists. With all of that said, there's an alarming shortage of cyber experts skilled in preparing for and navigating cyber threats. According to industry estimates, there'll be as many as 3.5 million unfilled positions by 2021. I looked at the CyberSeek website just this morning, and there's currently over 8,700 cybersecurity job openings in Michigan today. In Michigan, cybersecurity is truly a team sport. And as the demand for talent far outweighs the current supply of those with the right skills, it's more important than ever for governments, academia, and industry to collaborate and grow and upskill the workforce needed to meet that demand. Tom provided earlier information about the Pinckney Cyber Training Institute. You can go to the next slide, sorry. You can see on the map, you can see the map indicating the other locations around the state that are participating in this collaborative. MEDC has helped to stand the Cyber Range Hub network in the state of Michigan. I would encourage you to take advantage of the offerings at the Cyber Range. Engage in the career tech education programs that Amanda talked about at your local high schools. Look at the apprenticeship programs offered through Michigan Works and the Apprenti program that Michelle is going to talk about after me. Get involved in Cyber Patriot or First Robotics. These programs provide you an opportunity to engage in your future workforce. Also, take advantage of the resources at the PTAC, the DCAP program, the SBDC. They can help you to navigate this ever-changing cyber landscape. Lastly, I want to really thank everyone that is attending today. Michigan businesses are doing some amazing things during this very difficult time to protect our citizens. You're retooling to make masks and ventilators and other much-needed PPE. Please don't forget to protect yourselves as well, because we've always needed you, but we need you more than ever now. The MEDC has a website that is addressing issues with COVID-19 that we are updating daily with resources and programs for businesses. It can be found at www.michiganbusiness/COVID-19. Keep up the great work and engage. Thanks.
Great, thank you, Sarah. No specific questions have come through for Sarah yet. So we will move on to last but definitely not least, Michelle Uresti. Michelle is the Executive Director for the Workforce Intelligence Network, also known as WIN, for Southeast Michigan. Michelle comes to WIN with an extensive leadership background in developing training programs and workforce development. So Michelle, whenever you are ready, you can go ahead and take the lead.
Great, thank you. Next slide, please. The Workforce Intelligence Network is a unique nonprofit consortium of 9 community colleges and 6 workforce agencies with the mission to develop data-driven workforce solutions that respond to changing labor market demands. Next slide. The Workforce Intelligence Network managed a $7.7 million Department of Defense grant, producing over 18 labor market studies, including a connected automated vehicle social network analysis and cybersecurity skills gap analysis. The mobility ecosystem in 2017 had 351 unique organizational nodes or clusters of organizations working together on mobility solutions, such as a manufacturer working with the Department of Transportation, and 136 nodes in cybersecurity. The study also identified 39 institutions of higher education offering 90 degree and 80 certification programs in emerging technology. The Ralph C. Wilson Foundation funded an update and integration of these studies, which was released last week. The Emerging Tech Study offers high demand occupations, middle skills occupations, wage and labor market trends, training, and resources. The study finds that cybersecurity is critical to secure the data required for operations and infrastructure supporting autonomous vehicle systems. In the mobility space, new job titles or modified skill sets are required for existing occupations. For instance, software engineers combine the roles of mechanical engineers and software developers, and test automation engineers and systems architects are occupations which support the development of infrastructure for connected automated vehicles. Next slide. The cybersecurity study features job posting data from Economic Modeling Systems International, EMSI, for 211 unique occupation codes, including 26 frontline cybersecurity positions, as well as critical physical infrastructure designers. It also includes employment and wage data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. WIN research methods begin with standard occupation classification, SOC codes, which are government-defined occupation codes refined through industries and keywords to better catalog job postings. Employment growth is expected for information-heavy industries. The employment figure in Michigan for the healthcare and social assistance occupation cluster is 13 13.5%, with growth expected to 18.2% in 10 years. It is particularly noteworthy that there were over 350,000 job postings for cyber-sensitive occupations between October 2018 and September 2019, and approximately 26% of the postings required a bachelor's degree. Next slide. Cybercrime and identity theft is off the charts. According to a global survey by Norton LifeLock, approximately 800 million people worldwide were victims of cybercrime, and 117 million people were victims of identity theft just last year. The demand for exceptionally cyber-intensive workers has increased by 21.8%, or over 100,000 workers since 2010 in Southeast Michigan. Exceptionally cyber-intensive workers include financial examiners and financial services sales agents and information security analysts, industrial engineers, and mechanical engineers. Middle skill and middle wage occupations require post-secondary education and training, but do not require a bachelor's degree. It is expected that all middle skill and middle wage occupations in all industries will grow by 8% by 2028 in the US. Next slide. Out of a scan of 138,000 job postings containing cyber-sensitive skills requirements, software developers for both applications and system software totaled 12,190 job postings in Southeast Michigan. Cybersecurity and emerging tech skills are a growing requirement in administrative positions, which are traditionally high in demand. Next slide. Similar to interconnectedness that when researchers use for mapping ecosystems, location quotient refers to the amount of business activity and occupations that are concentrated in a given region. Cities with the most tech jobs in Southeast Michigan are Detroit, Troy, Ann Arbor, Auburn Hills, and Southfield. Next slide, please. Frontline cybersecurity jobs involves the design and implementation of cybersecurity strategies. The demand for frontline workers has also grown and is predicted to reach 123,600 jobs by 2028 in Southeast Michigan. Next slide. The Ralph C. Wilson Foundation awarded a $1.5 million grant to build the tech talent pool in Southeast Michigan using Apprenti, which is an apprenticeship model developed by the Washington Technology Industry Association and endorsed by the U.S. Department of Labor. Michigan became the 4th state to license the Apprenti system, which includes an assessment portal, pre-screened candidates, and a flexible employer-driven apprenticeship model of on-the-job training and related technical instruction. Next slide, please. While traditional high-demand occupations like software developers, web developers, and data administrators are common for registered apprenticeship through the Apprenti model, it is flexible to address employer needs such as cybersecurity. Non-traditional sectors like information technology have taken longer to adopt apprenticeship as a talent development strategy, but apprenticeship keeps better pace with technology advancement than other degree and educational programs. The WIN Apprenti program not only offers $15,000 in training reimbursement funds for apprentices, the most of any grant, it also offers pre-screened and qualified candidates. WIN recently partnered with a new nonprofit organization, the Women's Security Alliance, WAMSA, which supports the growth of women in the cybersecurity field by providing guidance on career pathway development for individuals upskilling through post-secondary education. If you are an employer in need of tech talent or interested in the emerging tech study, please visit www.winintelligence.org. Thank you for listening.
Great, thank you, Michelle. That was very valuable information. We appreciate your time today and all of the participants from the workforce panel. I don't have any specific questions that have come through in the Q&A or chat related to this panel, but again, please type them in if you have any feedback or questions for the panelists, and we should have a few minutes here at the end to ask them those questions. We appreciate everyone's time today. Last but not least, our last session for today, we're going to move on to